fam? It's your boy. It's Do What We Do, Afro Tug Nation. It's time to get down for the clown movie review time. English is not my first language, but you know where we start at. Pull up, Pome. What it is, what it does, what it do. It's your boy T3, Geek Town, Afro Tug Nation. Let's get down. But before we do that, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, come talk to your boy. Hit them like buttons going up. Keep subscribing. Keep doing what you do. Thank you always. It's a good time to hang out with you. But let's talk about it. Werewolves. Yes, this was what your mans went to go see last night. We have been spending the last few days talking about horror movies out there that's in the game. Well, we had our first horror movie last night. We haven't been able to get into in a long time for get down monster movies. So I'm not really big into the demonic stuff and stuff like Constantine and some certain things like that. But monster movies is where I live. You know what I'm saying? Monster movies is what I really get down on. And Werewolves last night was my first monster movie that I got to watch since Godzilla and King Kong. And by far, I wish Afro Teddy was here with me, because we be talking about some bad movies. Oh my God. B movie in full effect, making it to the theaters. God, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for this piece of treasure that I got last night. So, what is Werewolves? What is this movie about? This movie takes place, I want to say, in present day, because they really don't specify the year and the time when this goes on. You start out knowing that there's a super moon coming. And with super moons a year ago, because you don't get to see what happened a year ago, but they do put in like the Star Wars credit, piece at the beginning. 1 year ago from today, a super moon happened and a genetics kicked in. Everybody who was in the moonlight turned into a werewolf all over the world, global. So they said over 1 billion people turned into werewolves for a 8-hour, 9-hour period that lasted until sunrise that day. And every time a supermoon comes out now, people get turned into werewolves. So what is a supermoon? A supermoon is when the hunter's moon, or that moon when it's as closest to the earth, as close as proximity, it looks really big, it looks really low. Well, those are supermoons. And they're saying that during that time, if you are in the light, doesn't matter if you've been bitten by a werewolf, touched by a werewolf, it doesn't matter. If you get hit by the moonlight, you will turn into a werewolf. Well, it is a year from now, and people are getting ready for the next super moon. And so there are scientists who are out there getting ready to do testing on people to try to find a way to stop what is happening, to try to figure out what is going on with this supermoon. Well, you have a man who is military trained and has his brother. I want to presume he died in the last supermoon as a first responder. It looks like he was a firefighter. This guy is the main character. They didn't even say his name that much, so I can't even remember what his name is. But he's protecting and taking care of the wife and the daughter of his brother. And so he is military trained, but apparently he's also like a physicist, a scientist of genetics, the head of a science department. So how that worked out, I'm not quite sure. But he's prepping the whole house. He's putting out bear traps. He's putting nails on the roof. He's making an electrical fence barrier that he's fitted around. He's putting up hard pepper spray around the house. He's barricaded all the windows and walls and put up brick walls and all the rest of this stuff. And he's done everything possible to make sure that they are protected for the next day during this supermoon. While he goes back to the lab with his science team to work with the head of the science department to figure out if they can find a way to stop this mutation, to stop this transformation. Well, they got 4 volunteers that come in. One gentleman they call a year oneling, which is like he made it through the first transformation, and it's the husband of one of the scientists there. How she didn't die if he turned into a werewolf, maybe they was on a different trip. He was overseas. I don't know. They don't explain that. You just know that apparently her husband transformed into a werewolf the last time there was a supermoon a year ago. And so here we are. So he's part of one of the people who's out with the experiments. Okay, fine. We're not here nor there. There's another guy, you know, there's always one jerk, one amped up person that's in there. He's an ex-Marine. He's in the backyard shooting up things because he's getting ready for the fight of his life, of his night. He puts on a little vest that says wolf killer on it. All the rest of the stuff, he's a little out of his mind, deranged. Something wrong with this fool, but okay. So we know that once the moon is out, people are going to change. There are people who are hiding and there are people who want to change. So you got those two demographics of folks and this and so forth. So the city is getting locked down, so forth and so on. This is all happening. And then, of course, something's got to go wrong, right? You can't have like all these plans and nothing goes right. Well, of course, something goes wrong. They're trying to create what is called moon screen that'll protect you, and hopefully it blocks your skin from the moonlight and keeps you from changing. Well, it works for a short period of time, an hour at max, and then it wears off, and then of course the people in all the cages who have volunteered change into werewolves, and then chaos ensues at the lab. Things are getting blown up, folks are dying, folks are getting ripped to shreds, and so on and so forth. The one thing that I gotta give much credit to, they did not use CGI in this. They went straight, well, on some of the things they went CGI, like when the werewolves are running away or scattering. But like when it's come to up close and personal, they went old school mask and costumes like they did back in the days. These werewolves look like werewolves from back in the 80s, homie, maybe early 90s. It was horrendous. Oh my God, I cried. It was wilding, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely wilding to see this. You come across these street urchins that come out of nowhere. Like this kid, they're running from the lab, of course, and he's trying to get back to his family, and they get caught in the streets, and they hiding in this pharmacy thing, and this little kid is like, follow me. And then this kid goes running through these tunnels, and they're like trying to see what's up. And then this lady comes out looking like Michonne with sword to the neck, you know what I'm saying? Never explained who they were, what their beef was, what they was all about, why they hated people. But it's what here nor there. This is where we're at. The city looks like something out of Resident Evil. If you remember the first Resident Evil, when Raccoon City was all destroyed and cars are everywhere and things just look all like end of the world apocalyptic. That's exactly what goes down. Of course, you got a couple dumb moments in the movie. A girl's mama gets killed by a werewolf because they're sitting around eating popcorn. Like they're cool and chilling on this night. I don't know. And then she runs outside and, you know, she's got herself covered in a blanket so she doesn't turn into a werewolf. And of course she comes to the one house that's protected the most. Come help me, come help me. And, you know, the mom is like, oh my God, it's my friend's daughter, yada, yada, yada. Of course the girl died. You know what I'm saying? Like it was inevitable. And then of course the gun-ho Marine who was out there ready to fight. The werewolves are smart and intelligent. So it's not like they stupid. They just have a savagery to them, apparently. And so as he's shooting and stuff, one werewolf throws a refrigerator at this man, blasts him away, knocks his mask off. He gets hit by the moonlight. Now he's a werewolf. And then in the first place he wants to go? Of course, to his neighbor's house, because he knows their house is well guarded and there's a lunch meal behind these chain fences and so on and so forth. So this whole time there is such a melee of things happening in this movie with no explanation, random fight scenes coming out of nowhere, but there is not a lack of werewolves in this movie. One thing I love about this is that there are werewolves everywhere and all kind of transformation. It's old school transformation. The flipping of the fingers in the hand, the face deforming out into the full snout of the werewolf, the hind legs coming out full force. It was beautiful. He shows up with his truck, you know, because it's like the last minute. Of course, the wife uses up all the gun shells. Why? Because she wasn't shooting at nothing. She just trying to scare him. But you only got like 10 bullets. Why would you use all of them? to shoot at the wall when you gotta wait for these things to at least break in and shoot one in the face. Oh my God. That's here nor there. But of course, he shows up right at the 11th hour of the moment. He's coming in with his truck. He's slamming them all with his truck, this and so forth, as we're going on with this thing. Oh my gosh. And then he gets to a point to where he needs to protect his family. And the only way he can protect his family is becoming a werewolf, just like the other guy. And so sure enough, he gives her watch. He says, we got 15 minutes till daylight. This house is not going to last. I got to go out and protect us. So you get the slow motion, walk through the rain scene. He rips off his shirt like the Incredible Hulk, changes to the werewolf. Him and the other werewolf have the battle of the century. He rips off that other werewolf's head. But now he's a werewolf in full form. The house is open and he's got to go kill his brother's wife and child. You know what I'm saying? And just at the moment where he's hunched over her, he's getting ready to eat her face. She shoots the window because the watch alarm goes off saying that it's light outside. Sunlight comes in, and all of a sudden when you pan back to him, he's standing up slowly, shirt off, ripped muscles, and he's all together, and he's like, oh my God. He reaches down to take her hand, to pick her up off the floor. The little girl peeks her head out of the closet, and there's the end credits. You know what I'm saying? This is where we stop at. Oh my God. Look, if you don't watch it for nothing else but nostalgia, you need to go see Werewolves, this movie in theaters, comes out today. Oh my God. I'm trying to tell you, homie. Yo, how many Afro pics? I know y'all waiting. How many Afro pics does this get? You know, it's funny. I didn't even give it Afro pics when I left out of there. I laughed out loud when I'm sitting in the movie theater. 3.5 Afro pics. Yes, just for enjoyment purposes only. Not because the movie is great, but because it's so bad, it's good. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at right now. So here we are. This is what we do. Afro Tech Nation. I'm telling you, bruh, you need to go see this joint for real. Alright folks, the weekend is here. Animes are dropping. Things are coming out. Next week, Kraven the Hunter, Ronin, Riders of Rohan drops. But this weekend, Solo Awakening, you know what I'm saying? Solo Leveling Awakening comes out this weekend. I will definitely be watching that, checking it out. I've yet to watch the full anime because apparently it's a series. So they're supposed to catch you up on episodes, a recap of 1 and 2, and then jump into the movie. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to a new anime to add to my repertoire and add to the regime of what we do as Afro Tech Nation. But until then, people, if you see your mans in the streets, hit them with the beats. Hit them with a jingle jangle, baby. Jingle jangle.